All righty. We are back, and I think that we have the man of the hour on the queue. But before we have to give him a proper introduction. The last time RB and I had a chance to sit down with Roy Jones Jr., it was one of the greatest interviews we've ever done. But this is just a snippet of the last time we sat down with Roy Jones Jr.
All these same questions, I know, but it's all good. All these same questions, I know. It is. If you were given 24 hours to live, what would you do? Man, if I was given 24 hours to live, I'd have sex 23 of them hours.
I'm not bad. Honest as ever. Y'all must have forgot.
The last hour?
Yeah.
I take a bath and get clean so I can be clean when I go.
Okay. I know you're not run out, Roy, but
Go ahead.
I had it queued up.
Go ahead.
You gotta do it.
Go ahead. What's that?
You gotta give it to us.
Y'all must have forgot. When they stole my gold medal in South Korea and my whole career, because y'all must have forgot. The best pound for pound is mine. Hit Percy Harris with 4 hooks at one time. Y'all must have forgot. Y'all must have forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best time. That
It was. We are now joined by the greatest. Y'all must have forgot, Mr. Roy Jones Jr. Good morning, sir. How are you doing today?
Help. I'm doing fine. How y'all doing?
We're
We
good.
are
We're
great.
good.
You know, that 24...
Not stop her to hear with a body shot. Y'all must have forgot. That's what I'm talking about.
I know that's right. You know, that is still one of our most popular, most requested interviews. You know, we always love to hear about your boxing commentating, but the day we dropped that on the boxing world, that just spun out of control. That was literally one of the highlights of my interviews that I've done thus far. So,
yes.
I'm so sorry, but y'all know Roy Jones Jr. is just honest and have to keep it real. So it's like that's what made me the champion that I was, because I was always an honest champion and I kept it real. I ain't have time to play games with nobody. I did it just like I wanted to do it, however I wanted to do it, whenever I wanted to do it, wherever I wanted to do it at. And that's just who I am.
I know that's right. So, you know, we know you, the fighter, but I want to talk about your commentating, because I could honestly say, you know, me and Jay love your commentating. When we go to fights and you're behind the desk, we're actually a little sad because we're like, man, we can't hear Roy tonight. When did you know that you were going to be so good at this? I mean, for real, sometimes we'd rather stay home and watch the fight.
Had no clue. It's always one of those things that God drops on you that you never know He has coming for you. And like I tell people all the time, you never know what God has in store for you. You just believe and you push on.
Did you go to, like, any training for this? Like,
not one single class, not one single nothing. Once again, I just keep it real and tell the truth. If you keep it real and tell the truth, you can never lose. But
all right.
You got to tell the truth with respect to the sport. And what that means is, having respect for the sport and respect for your fellow athletes, you try not to ever go in and trash anybody, because everybody who has the heart to step in that ring, you understand what it takes, and they deserve that much respect.
Talking about respect, you know, sometimes during the broadcast, I know Jim Lampley and Max Kellerman, they say some things that you don't quite always agree with, and you low-key be checking them, but very respectfully, but like we see the low-key check. You know, do they sometimes get on your nerves and you look at them like, what you talking about?
Well, once again, it's because you have to have respect for the sport, and you only can have true respect for it if you've done it. If you never did it, you can't have respect for it, you know. It's like about life. People tell you, you know, you can tell people stuff. Yeah, you can tell them something if they know you've been through something. If they don't know that you've been through something, then how can you tell me? You know, how can you tell me how faithful you are and how what God has done for you if you never been through nothing God ain't had to do nothing for you? You can't. But when you've been through something and God has delivered you from something, now you can tell me who God is, because I believe you, because you have a testimony. So when you're not been in that ring, you don't have a ring testimony to come back and be able to tell people what it feels like, what should be happening, what shouldn't be happening. Your opinion is not as valuable as a guy who's been in there and done that.
That's right. That's right.
I can't argue with LeBron James about how it feels to play an 82-game season because I've never played one.
Right.
Lately, shifting into something else that, we sit here on the computer and we have our theories about scoring, or even when we're sitting ringside, we've been seeing a lot of discussion about judging. We just had the Chocolatito fight last week and the Triple G Jacobs fight. Do the judges, for looking at it from your perspective, you're sitting ringside and you are a fighter, are the judges getting it right and the fans just are satisfying, or fans just getting wild and not accepting how judges are scoring the fight?
No, here's what it is, okay? And I think Harold Letterman can say it better than I can, even because he also made a valuable point in talking about judges at one time. And he is a judge. But here's the problem. A lot of people have different ways of seeing things. And to give you the perfect example, you and I can read the same verse in the Bible. They can have two different meanings to them. You understand where I'm coming from? We can interpret it in two separate ways. So everybody has their way of looking at things, but sometimes we interpret things different ways. So in close rounds, one judge may like the guy that's pushed the person forward. One guy may like the guy that's boxing and moving. So if you like the guy that's boxing and moving in close rounds, you can give to him. If you like the guy who's pushing forward in the close rounds, you're going to give it to him. That means that neither one of you guys may be wrong. It's all about what you like. So it's hard for you to say that they're wrong. It's not necessarily always that they're wrong. Sometimes it's no matter what a particular judge likes. Now, who and what qualities these judges have, we don't know all the time. We don't know that Jerry Ross likes boxer or likes to fight a better. We don't know that for a fact because we never interviewed Jerry Ross like that. So what you have to do, the only way you're going to get that right is if you say, okay, and it's still going to be right because the best way to do it is do like I always ask. As soon as there's a close fight, we got to wonder who won, and they was that close. Was the Danny Jacobs Glocker fight was that close? Then we got to immediately say, you know what? We're cool with it, but that fight could have gone the way. Let's do it again. And it's over with. We may finish somebody, and we may not. And if we don't finish the second time, let's do another fight from another person. So you might give up, and then let's come back and do it again.
Because do you think they should do it again?
Of course they should. The beef never got settled with Pacquiao and Marquez until Marquez finally knocked Pacquiao out. That's when the beef got settled. That's when people were really satisfied. Until then, no Marquez fan was satisfied, and the Pacquiao fans were satisfied, but they weren't happy because they man didn't completely dominate Marquez. So nothing got really finalized until Marquez knocked Pacquiao out, and it really still ain't finalized because Pacquiao had him out in that same fight. So they still want to see it again.
When you guys are sitting ringside commentating on the fight, are you taking notes and scoring the rounds yourself, or are you just observing it and responding on what you see?
No, I observe it, and I depend on Harold Letterman usually because I trust that he makes a pretty good judgment most of the time. I mean, he's been wrong once or twice, but not much too well. I would not think he's right 95 to 97% of the time. Therefore, I depend on him to do what he does. My job is to tell you what's happening throughout each round. So I can't do that by keeping score because then I might start leaning toward the guy who on my scorecard is ahead. I don't want to do that. I want to continue to tell you what's going on round by round. You decide because you could be one of those guys too who may think, well, this guy's pressing forward, I'm going to give him that close round. Or you could be one of the guys who think, well, this guy's boxing, I'm going to give him that close round. So I can't make that determination for you. So I know since me keeping my tallying up my scorecard because my opinion may be different from your opinion because I could be the guy that likes to box more so than the guy that likes to press forward. Or I could say that the guy that's pressing forward is being more effective than the guy that's boxing. It all depends. So there's a lot that goes on in judging a fight.
Yeah, not only was there some controversy with the judging, but I think a lot of the fans were really harsh on Golovkin, and I think that they're forgetting that he's 35. He's not 25, and he's human. And all of the great fighters, including yourself, may have had an off night here and there. Like, you can't be Superman every single night. He's human.
Hold on. When we say the fans are being hard on Golovkin, let's ease up on that, and let me tell you what goes on with that. What happens is sometimes the commentators make him sound like he's so unbeatable that they make it where it's almost unfair to him. It's not the fans. The commentators have led them into that by making them think that he's Mr. Impossible to stay in front of, and he's not. Nobody's impossible to stay in front of. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And so with them doing that, it misleads the fans and think that nobody should be able to deal with it. So what happens is when a person like Danny Jacobs is successful at doing what he needs to do to stay in front of him and he can last 12 rounds, people say, wow, he looked like crap tonight. No, he did not. It was a guy named Danny Jacobs that caused him to look like that tonight.
Yeah.
You understand me? It's nothing to do with Triple G. Triple G was his same old Triple G dynamic self. It's a guy named Danny Jacobs that caused that tonight. Everybody is not going to go in to stay down for you or succumb to you your way of fighting. Some guys are going to go in and give it everything they got to try to beat you. That's what Danny Jacobs did. So anything that was bad about Triple G's performance, that credit goes to Daniel Jacobs. Not Triple G doing bad, not Triple G being the normal stuff, not Triple G being 35 years old, but the credit goes to Daniel Jacobs. Let's be real about this. That's what our problem is. We take our issue, but we always want to place an issue on the same one saying, oh, he's getting old. Bull crap. He ain't getting old. He fought Danny Jacobs. If you don't believe it, put one of the other guys that he fought now, somebody that's not as good as Danny Jacobs in front of him again, and watch how quick he destroy him. And he'll look like he's 22 again. Not hard to figure out.
Right. See, you really just, I love the way you just articulated that, because I try to think of that, of how to communicate that Triple G, if you say Triple G is human, is a realistic statement. You know, so many people say, oh, he was exposed, Danny Jacobs got robbed, but I think that was perfect how you just broke it down to us. Danny Jacobs was a great man that night in the ring. Styles may fight. Everyone's style is not compatible. And it was just, that was a great assessment that people will have to go back and play this back for people instead of saying either Triple G got exposed or Danny Jacobs got robbed. That was in a nutshell.
Quit all the excuse making. You had two great fighters in the ring that night. When two great fighters meet up, neither one of them bound to look like they're supposed to look. Yeah, some can say, well, we thought Danny got robbed. No, I didn't think Danny did enough to take Triple G title. No, I don't think he did enough to do that. I thought he put on a hell of a fight. I thought he's still one of my favorite heroes in the world today. Not in boxing, but he's my idol in the world today. I idolize him for being able to come back from defeating cancer and making the hardest fight that one of the toughest guys on the planet has ever had in his whole career. All that goes to Danny Jacobs. I respect and think more of Danny Jacobs today than I think of anybody else on this planet I can think of right now. As far as had the will to be faithful, had the will to fight to the end, and they give all they got to do what they want to do in this world. Danny Jacobs is my new idol. He is my new inspiration. You understand me? And
yeah, I heard that.
But nothing of what goes on in that fight takes anything away from Triple G. All that's credit to Danny Jacobs. What you got to give Triple G credit for was he came and fought a guy who probably was a cruiserweight that night, and he still gave it his best effort. He didn't quit. He didn't give up. He didn't go in and complain about how big Danny was. He fought. So don't say, oh, he looks old. No, he don't. He did what he had to do to try to maintain his championship quality, which is what he did, to maintain championship status, And he did that. So instead of both guys had a great fight, an enormous fight, and a fight that we all should see again. Simple. Let's cut out the foolishness, quit the excuse making, quit the crowd and the whining, and let's just forgive that bad. Let's just do it again. Simple.
Absolutely. Roy, yeah, I love how passionate you are about these fights. When you look at some of the fights that you've covered over your time at HBO, has there ever been a fight where you were ringside and you wish, damn, I wish I bought a ticket and I wasn't working tonight. I wish I could just take it in.
No, because I really enjoy articulating to the fan exactly what's going on. And I like to tell the truth and keep it real. And it's like it's hard for me sometimes because I love guys so much and I feel bad for them. And I love Bradley. I love Pacquiao, but the first time when they gave Bradley that decision over Pacquiao, that was just wrong. You feel me? No matter what race, what color, what nationality, if it's wrong, it's wrong. That fight was one where he definitely just purely got it dead wrong. That was some of that shenanigans like I got in his whole career. There's a difference. You understand where I'm coming from? And they did come back and Pacquiao and Bradley came in like real men and straightened it out. But to me, that first fight, they did Pacquiao wrong. Not that Brad didn't come give it a great effort, but they did Pacquiao wrong. Simple as that. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes there are dead wrong situations, and I like to call a rat and a dog a dog. You understand me? And in that situation, that fight was dead wrong. They got that dead wrong. Bradley did not beat Pacquiao in that first fight. And I was not commentating. I was watching, but it still made me just as angry had I been behind the microphone. I mean, just because it was wrong. You understand me? Now, fights like the Kovalev-Ward fight, those fights are so close that they are highly controversial. Because, like I said, it all depends on what the judge is like. Those fights are going with the Jacobs and Triple G fight. That could have gone either way because it all depends on what the judge likes. You understand me? Those fights could go either way because they're so close. You understand me?
Yeah. There's actually a couple people in the media, actually one of our good friends named Adam, where he always looks at who the judges are going to be for every fight because he knows what their trends are and he knows how they score. So I always look to him when he does his predictions because he actually goes and does research on who the judges are going to be because they do all see things a little different.
Right, and that's what everybody should do before the fight happens. Everybody should do that and take that in the court because if you know that the guy that's judging the fight is a guy that loves the guy who presses forward, then you as a fighter should have that opportunity to know that too before you go into that fight. And somebody should do research and tell you that. Because if I know I'm fighting somebody that's going to box me, yet I got judges that wants the guy to press forward, then what I'm going to do is press forward as often as I can because I know he's going to be moving, and the judges I got would rather see the guy going after him because I don't want to be boxing with him and then I lose a decision because they feel like, well, he didn't do nothing, and he did what he normally does, so we're going to give the fight to him. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah. So we've heard we've heard you say a couple of times that as far as your top pound for pound, we know that you like Andre Ward, Terrence Crawford, Lomachenko. Is that still your top three?
Of course it is. It ain't going to change no time soon.
Oh, man. All right, we have a quick game before we let you go. It's called Spitfire. And these are fantasy matchups. We're going to give you two names, and you just got to tell us who you think would win. Off the top of your head, no breaking it down, no analyzing. We're going to give you two names, and you tell us who wins, okay?
I'll try.
Okay. Andre Ward, Golovkin.
Andre Ward.
Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua.
Lomachenko, Mikey Garcia.
Lomachenko.
Terrence Crawford, Adrian Broner.
Terrence Crawford.
Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman.
Draw.
Ooh. Kell Brooks, Earl Spence.
Earl Spence.
And Kovalev, Adonis Stevenson.
Ooh, good one. Kovalev.
All right. That was good.
Right.
He didn't even stutter, Jay.
No flinching. Y'all must have forgot there was going to be no flinching on that.
Y'all asked me what I thought. I ain't a person who thinks I don't make mistakes, so I could be dead wrong on every one of them. But y'all asked me what I thought, so this is what I think off the top before I get a chance to think about it and analyze it. That's what I think going in. Now, when I stop and look at it and analyze it, I might come back differently. You feel me?
Hey, I trust your judgment. Another one out there.
Listen to me, though. Nobody ever listened to me. When I first heard the Jacobs Golovkin matchup, I was thinking, this should be pretty easy for Golovkin because the guy that dropped him, what's the guy name that knocked him down? The guy that knocked Jacobs down. Not the one that knocked him down. He had been knocked down and knocked out. So I'm like, well, how come he got to hit him? This should be over with. But now I started thinking, I started looking at it deeper and doing my research, and I said, you know what? This fight going to be a hell of a fight because Danny Jacobs is coming to win this fight. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And Danny Jacobs is big, and Danny Jacobs is about to be a problem. And I kept on looking. I said, oh, yeah, this is going to be a really big problem because Danny Jacobs has faced the toughest thing in life to deal with, and that's death. He defeated death, and he definitely is scared of dealing with Golovkin. This is going to be a good fight. This is a toss-up. And I started thinking that Danny Jacobs may even win it. And I still think the fight could have gone either way. So,
yeah, me too.
So it's what it is, you know. So it's like, but it took me a minute to see that. When I first heard the fight, I thought, it's easy for Golovkin. But then when I started paying more attention and listening to and watching, I was like, whoa, this is about to be a good fight. And I thought Danny might put it. I started thinking Danny might put it, and I thought still the fight could have gone either way. So if Danny would have got the decision, I wouldn't have been mad. I would have been like, wow, So I thought he could win because at the end, when I started looking at the facts, I started realizing he did have a great chance to win the fight. So that fight, and that fight still could have gone either way, and just as many people would be upset right now as it is because they gave it to Triple G. It could have gone either way.
You're right.
When we put this out last night that you were going to be on the show, we had a lot of people obviously hitting us up with different questions, and I picked the two that I thought were the most interesting and fun, like that I haven't heard anybody ask you before. So real quick, the first question was, in your prime when you were doing your music, which rapper did you have the best time hanging out with?
I think I probably had the best time hanging out with Tupac, cause me and Tupac hung out way back in the day, and we was at a Freaknik in Atlanta, and that was the funnest time. I mean, you can't ask for no better situation than that. So that probably was my favorite person hanging out with back at that time. I had some good times, some good people. Now, me and Miska had a great time too. Me and Miska used to hang out almost every weekend, so it's unfair to put him with anybody else. But I think at one time event, me and Tupac probably had the best time because we was in the middle of where we wanted to be at that time, and you couldn't
Did you wear some fur and leather when you were hanging out with Mystical?
Nah, me and Mystical hung out all the time in my yard, so we used to hang out like every weekend.
To piggyback on the rapper question, Roy, I've always wanted to ask you this. I've seen the Fat Joe assessment of what happened when you guys ran into each other with the Chopper style dude. What is your side of the story when you and Fat Joe ran into each other in the hallway and you was about to knock his ass out because you thought he was disrespecting you on Lean Back?
I ain't saying nothing about that. So weird. We did that. That's so weird.
Plead the fifth. Plead the fifth.
I was crazy. Yeah, I was crazy back then. I tried to calm down, so I'm good. So, I try to become a little wiser in the way I do things now. So I'm pleading the fifth. But Fat Joe, my man. I mean, me and Fat Joe, we understood one another after that. We apologized. We talked about it like men, and we did what men should do. Men should be able to speak like men, apologize, and be men about it, and let's move on. We don't have the right to take life from one another. We don't have the right to do anything like that. So we should be. We are one of the things I say about people all the time. We have the best communicative skills on the planet of all the animals, yet we have the hardest time communicating.
Yes,
very true.
We have the best communicative skills of all animals on this planet, yet we have the hardest time communicating with one another. Why is it?
Last question here from the fan. Would you ever consider stepping in the cage? UFC, MMA?
With a pair of boxing gloves on, yeah.
What?
I said with a pair of boxing gloves on, yeah. But I ain't got time to be bending my knee back and messing my elbows. I don't like all that. You know what I mean? Nah, bro. Check these hands. I ain't got time out of hugging and twisting up and wrapping me around the presser. I can't deal with all that.
All right. Well, Roy, before we close, one final question before we close. We know that do the people repeatedly asking you about your retirement make you want to fight that much more, just so they'll leave you alone?
You already know it. You already know it. They ain't got to leave me alone. I like for them to keep bothering me if I keep fighting. I love when they bother me because it's like in me gave me life, not people, not nobody else. So when God gave me life, God should be able to tell me when to stop. Like God should be the only one that's allowed to take life. And he's the one that I would fear or worry about taking life. I ain't worried about nothing to nobody else. And so it's like, I hear people talk, and I love to hear them talk, but how many of them can fight like I can? None of them. So why would I listen to them tell me what I can do and what I can't do? I mean, even the fight I just had against Bobby Gunn, I entertain you when I fight. I don't care whether win, lose, or draw. I'm still going to entertain you because my hand's still faster than 95% of theirs. I'm still smarter than 95% of them. And if you really let me go somewhere and get in shape and take my time to get right, 95% of them still can't really beat me. It's just what it is,
I know that's right. You tell them to leave. Okay, y'all heard it here. Back the hell up off Roy. He gonna do
y'all.
Roy.
Y'all must forgot. If you want for Roy, y'all wouldn't know that about Method Man and Red Man bringing somebody to the ring at Radio City Music Hall. First time rap ever went in Radio City Music Hall because of Roy Jones, Method Man, Red Man, and we even had the great late Whitney Houston on the court that night. Roy did things that were never thought of being done. Y'all believe, Y'all know he ain't that night.
Well, Roy, I hate to let you go. I could do this all day, but we will be in Vegas in May. Can we please sit down with you when we're in May, if you have some time, so we can do our other show, Raising a Bar, where you can just tell us some good stories. Even if they don't ever make it to broadcast, we just want to swap stories with you.
If y'all got some candy, y'all.
You already know.
If y'all got some candy, if y'all got some candy, y'all know I sit down and talk. Long as I eat y'all candy, I'm good.
That's the best.
Have some candy, and I don't mind sitting down and talking to y'all. Y'all already know.
We got you covered. Well, Roy, always a pleasure. You have a wonderful day. We always look forward to seeing you on the desk, and thanks for coming through and showing us some love this morning.
Hey, thank y'all for having me.
All right, take care. All right, we're gonna